We begin with an early edition of KCAL News at 8 alongside Juan Fernandez and Mike Rogers at the desk and Desmond Shaw live in SkyCal. Good evening, everyone. I'm Susie Suh. We are following a pursuit right now. The CHP in pursuit of a DUI suspect.
That's right. This is near the Topanga Plaza right now. Let's go up to Desmond Shaw up in SkyCal for the very latest. Des?
Going to go under us northbound. Yeah, so here we go. It is this red Ford Fusion here that the authorities have had some trouble keeping tabs on here. They had actually lost it from the air, but they just reacquired it, like you said, not too far away from the village at Topanga. We're northbound on Owens Mount. Definitely some dangerous driving here. You see speeds of up to about 60 miles an hour here. So Owens Mount and Victory, just about a mile to the west of that very busy mall. You know, people getting off, maybe going out to get a bite to eat or go shopping. And so you've got this guy out here driving like this. Suspected DUI. It's with CHP West Valley, though, which is kind of interesting. So maybe this started on the 101 freeway and came here. They have two helicopters overhead from LA County Sheriff's deputies as well as LAPD blasting right through that red light. So Victory and Canoga right there. So definitely have some dangerous driving. And I mean, it almost makes me wonder if they're going to continue this because, again, the want was suspected DUI. We haven't heard anything about it being a stolen vehicle or anything violent like that. And now it might be kind of playing that balancing act. Do we really want to, risk everyone with the way that this guy is flying down the street now on the wrong side of the road like a missile, or do we let this one go? We'll see if the authorities decide to continue with this as we are blasting along still westbound on Victory now through DeSoto, guys.
Oh, Mike Rogers at the desk now. Mike, you know, as Desmond was talking about, this is a delicate balance because on one hand, we have CHP who wants to get this person because they are posing a danger as a DUI suspect. But at the same time, this could be dangerous for their officers to continue. Yeah,
absolutely. And, you know, we always weigh the balance even on the broadcast side of whether or not we should come on the air with a pursuit. And I can tell you when we made the decision to go seconds, before we came on the air, CHP was aggressively behind him and they had been approved to do a pit maneuver if those speeds warranted. Now, from Desmond's shot, we can clearly see that those units have kind of pulled back a little bit. CHP not always loving chasing people on surface streets and not on the freeway. And again, because of the want is the DUI here. That's kind of why they've made that decision. This person has really run the gamut. As you see this dangerous move blowing through the red light there and through the intersection, this person has really run the gamut of how they've been driving. They've been driving very calm, 30 miles an hour, so much so that CHP thought they were going to be able to do a pit maneuver. And then all of a sudden, he blasts up to 70 miles an hour like we're seeing right now and really pushes through. So you've got the LA County Sheriff's airship that is overhead that is monitoring this, which is kind of what the sergeant over at West Valley Station wanted to do. But then those units on the ground actually found it before the helicopter did, which is what allowed those ground units to reinitiate that pursuit, get back into it. And like I said, as we were making the decision to come on the air and seconds before we did, those units, and there you see one right there. Okay, so now we're back right behind it. I know it's hard to see with the trees there, but there are those units right there in pursuit, lights and sirens right behind him. So this guy knows he is being chased. I will not give away too much, but we also know that the registered owner of this car, which we don't know if it's the person behind the wheel, but we know the registered owner of this car is from this area. That car is registered to a home that is in this area. So that person
that we are in right now.
So quick left-hand turn there, Mike.
Back on the freeway now.
All right, back on the freeway, and he just blew by Pierce College not too long ago there at high rates of speed. And again, the danger here, we're talking about very fast driving and the possibility that the person behind the wheel is drunk or impaired somehow, going at very high speeds. Now, back on the freeway, Mike, is this a good or a bad thing? I'm guessing less people out and about, obviously, right?
Yeah, less people, pedestrians. I mean, they were starting to get nervous about pedestrians out were on the road, but this also does take some options off the table. They wanted to do spike strips at one point. That makes it much harder to do on a freeway, a 5-6 lane freeway at over 100 miles an hour now. Pit maneuvers are certainly not going to happen here on the freeway. But CHP is going to be more comfortable chasing it on a freeway because that is generally their jurisdiction, and there's less risk really to pedestrians and to running red lights and all of those things that you would see on surface streets.
Yeah, it looks like they have their left blinker on and they just keep going at full speed. We were looking at 110 miles per hour just a second ago on this freeway here. And again, we're chasing a DUI suspect, a possible DUI suspect, a CHP in pursuit of this person. And we don't know exactly how many people are inside this car either. They could be posing a danger to someone else too, Mike.
Yeah, we believe that there's only one person
Okay.
inside. It sounds like those units at some point, because he was doing so many circles, were able to get a look inside the car, and they described it as a one male driver that was inside of the car. But, you know, to your point, the DUI suspect, and to Desmond's point, we haven't heard anything about it being stolen. So they know who the registered owner is of this vehicle, which 9 times out of 10 is the person behind the wheel. Certainly they don't know definitively that it is. But their CHP is interested in chasing this, and they have been.
And you were telling us, Mike, that for a while they had pulled back, right, because of the dangerous speeds, and now they've re-engaged, right?
Right. So they pulled back. There was a bit of something that happened. So they pulled back at the sergeant's request. The sergeant of West Valley said, "This is getting too dangerous. He's going too fast. Let's start to pull off." So they did. The airship, the sheriff's helicopter, and LAPD was there too. But those 2 helicopters were about 2 or 3 minutes away from being overhead when that happened. They even asked the sergeant, "Can we wait until we get there before you pull off?" Sergeant said, "No, back off." So then everybody lost him for a second. And then those ground units that were in the area spotted him again, and they started chasing him again.
Joining me now is a young man who dropped out of Harvard and developed the DUI Act.
I see. And why would they continue to do so? You know, that's my question. If this person continues to drive erratically like this, fast like this.
Right. I mean, there's always the whole purpose of tracking is to see if the person will calm down and back off. And when that doesn't work, regardless of if you're behind them or not, sometimes the sergeants or the watch commanders say, "Look, we made the effort. We pulled back. He didn't know we were behind him. He was still driving the way he was. Now, at least if we are there, we can put out sirens, we can put lights, we can maybe give the public, especially now that we're back on
5 to 10 minutes ago,
some warning
the driver
that this guy is coming if we're
speeds
closer
up
behind him."
at
So
80
it's
miles
all
an hour.
tactical and it's all in the moment decisions that are being made. But generally, the thought process behind tracking is to give this guy some space and see if he slows down. And if he doesn't, and it's not working, then they can make the decision, which looks like they have, to go back and forth.
And this driver here getting on the 101 freeway at Balboa, just crossing Moorpark Street there in Encino, heading into some heavier traffic. Look at that, making a right-hand turn there, and the CHP right behind him there. Again, picking up speeds. Mike, you were mentioning the car is registered to someone in this area, so he was on surface streets, back on the freeway, headed southbound. Now he's back on surface streets again, so all things are starting to line up that this is somebody who lives in the area.
Right, and now we're going, you know, we came, the 101 freeway is weird right there, so we went south/eastbound on the 101, now we're going back westbound, so we're going on the freeway, we're not going back into the direction of where we came from.
Watching live breaking news here on PayCal, the edition of PayCal News at 8, a DUI suspect being pursued by the CHP right now on surface streets in the valley, and this is where we have been for much maybe 15 minutes or so now, and we do believe possibly that this person who owns this car, the person who actually
the CHP in aggressive mode of that
does live in the valley, so it could be this person. We have no idea what it could be that this car is stolen, but we have no information that this car is stolen at this point. So could they be going home right now? Or could they be going to a friend's house who's also nearby in the valley? They obviously know the area.
And we've seen it all before too, Susie. Areas blowing over speed bumps at the high rates of speed as well. Let's go back up to Desmond Shaw and SkyCal. Des, give us an idea how things look ahead of this car.
So far, unstoppable. Rolling.
Well, I mean, we're over by another park. We're not too far
stop
from
signs,
the flood basin. There's someone right there who's out
almost running into
around,
the desk.
and they may have unintentionally slowed down CHP a little bit on this one. I'm
The was driving fast.
that CHP is still continuing this pursuit. So wrong way drive there, blasting through that stop sign, not even slowing down. We were over by the Encino Commons, another very busy area. I really got nervous when we were on Ventura Boulevard because that's where a lot of people are out right now, you know, in cars and out walking around. And so we're over by, I know, a bunch of baseball fields right now. Okay, we're kind of paralleling the Orange Line busway. So this is that section where Luis kind of dead ends at the LA River, going to head over towards White Oak, I believe. But let's just widen out and see if they are on this, if they have kind of, no, they're still right there. I mean, we saw when he got off the freeway, and he nearly lost control there getting off of Balboa, making a southbound turn now into this neighborhood. Frankly, I just wish that the suspect would just get out and run at this point, because we are just seeing so much danger to everyone at this time. So But they almost lost control getting off the freeway. And you saw CHP, they were right on their bumper when they got off. It looked like they were going to try to make an opportunity to pit him there, but they weren't able to. The suspect sped away, and you see, I mean, CHP definitely aggressive on this one. So White Oak headed up towards Victory. So still kind of on the periphery of the Sepulveda flood basin. Again, big recreational area out here, the end of a nice summer day. A lot of people out walking around. You saw that close call with that pedestrian that was out there. Zigging and zagging all over the place, not hesitating to get on the wrong side of the road at times. Just insane chance taking by this driver right now. So we're coming up to Victory. Let's see what they do at this busy intersection as people get out of the way. It's kind of boxed in a little bit right here. He's going to go right through and make that right turn, and that person, you know, doing what they should do to yield towards CHP, but inadvertently kind of giving this person space as they're eastbound on Victory. They'll probably go, see, we're making a little maneuver here with SkyCal. We're also dealing with Van Nuys Airspace up here, so a shout out to my pilot, Jeff, who's doing a bang-up job trying to, really close.
Goodness.
Oh, he nearly, look at that, he's going to lose it. Really close to losing. He's driving this car like a Ferrari, but this is
like
just
a
basic economy car, a Ford Fusion, I believe, or a Focus. But look at CHP. They are right on this one as we are flying along southbound on Victory Boulevard again right now. I see the sheriff's helicopter overhead on this one. But boy, CHP really, really wanting this. Sometimes, you know, they can just be the most aggressive agency. They do not like this kind of recalcitrance from suspects as we go right through. I can't believe this. We're up to 90 miles an hour on Victory. This is not going to end well at all if this continues. And again,
The driver is reaching speeds at 90 to 110 miles an hour. The suspect was on the freeway just moments ago. The driver was weaving in and out of traffic. Just minutes later, he squeezed near the track. He squeezed between the two traffic to turn right. But just a few minutes later, the driver was going the wrong way, almost spun out of control, nearly regaining control of that speed. The driver, police helicopters, just minutes away before the suspect gets off the freeway to turn right because of his erratic behavior that precipitated it. The driver is a
Burbank Airport, so we're going to have to kind of swing around. Might have some departures coming out of Van Nuys, so we are flying along towards the 405 on Victory. We're going to try to pick it up here on the other side. I think
the driver turns right on a southbound freeway,
airspace right now.
but he decided
to law enforcement helicopters down low as well.
What it
and okay, we're getting on the freeway, so southbound.
To catch up to that particular driver.
Just 1 second. Let me just go back to you guys here. We're going to require this.
Sounds good, Desmond. While you look into this pursuit, let's go back to Mike Rogers on the desk here. Mike, here's the pursuit once again. Desmond's got
Yeah, we got lucky there. Desmond and Jeff are doing a great job. There's a lot of traffic getting out of Van Nuys and Burbank. So we got lucky in the sense that it's going south 405 towards the 101, which is where
picks up speed at 110 miles an hour. Unclear if that's
we'll see what his move is. I know CHP is already notifying the West LA units because once we get into the Sepulveda Pass, that will be their area to deal with. And I don't know, Des, if you're with us, if there's any marine
fighting the
layers
wheel. One wheel on the
Are you missing
side.
multiple teeth
Now
and
we have
finding it
to
difficult to chew your food? Are you holding back or smelling?
cause problems for law enforcement helicopters trying to get to it all. Can you see it? Have you at all?
Fighting the wheel.
I'm just kind of glancing over the pass. I can see some buildings down there. I can see Century City, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. I can't quite see the Santa Monica, but we are sticking with 405. And look at these speeds. I mean, over 100 miles an hour on the most congested freeway in America. In the carpool lane, out of the carpool lane. Even at this time of the evening, I mean, we're definitely not heavy traffic time. But going up the Sepulveda Pass, you can have traffic at any time. Just people slowing down to get off the freeway again, and not really have to focus off of Valley Vista. So we're going to be off of, getting into this
now suddenly
residential.
he's
Did the
crashed.
suspect
Wow.
they just crashed? Oh my gosh, they just lost it. Okay. Yeah, he crashed right here. Yeah, right behind that tree. Wow, look at that. I mean, I'm just glad this is over. Hopefully there was nobody inside that Tesla. Right through the little planter right there. And this suspect could be injured. I mean, airbags deployed. This guy just barely even slowed down as they were taking it. So now CHP coming in, desperately trying to get to the suspect. They need to make sure that, that they're conscious of breathing. We know how CHP operates. They do not mess around. They just come right up and yank you out of the vehicle. And it looks like that's what they're going to do right now. The suspect might be trapped. Yeah, they are yanking him out, and there they are on the ground. Boy, you can tell they are just furious with how all of this is gone. The three officers getting into custody there. Another perfectly placed tree as we were coming around there off of the Valley Vista there in the 405. And, if you've ever taken, we were wondering if the suspect knew what they were doing. I don't think they had any idea, because if you live in the valley and you take this off ramp, then you know you cannot take that ramp at that kind of speed. You come right around, and there's a stop sign right there, and he just went right through into that Tesla, into that planter. Maybe just some superficial damage to that car, but the suspect in custody, and they could be in some pain right now as well.
And Desmond, on the other side of that hedge there, it's someone's driveway, right?
Yes, yeah, someone's driveway. Someone's looks like a Tesla right there. I mean, boy, I'm really glad that wall was there and that car. I mean, it could have just continued right into that hole if that car wasn't right there. So, unfortunate from an insurance perspective, but maybe even serendipitous in the long run. As we see this, DUI suspect, they are unconscious, they are upright, and they are in handcuffs. And boy, what a nerve-wracking pursuit that was. But just really glad it's over and one person in custody and no serious injuries, amazingly.
5 minutes.
Streets through the valley, getting off and on the freeway at multiple times, and then driving on these shoulders and trying to get on the other side of the traffic, even the wrong side of the traffic. And as we see here, getting off the freeway, getting back on, and this was the pattern. And at one point, I don't know if we can show that, but there was a pedestrian at a pedestrian crosswalk that they barely missed, Mike. I mean, it was just inches.
It was, and I mean, just the driving behavior. I mean, the want is DUI, but the driving behavior was so erratic and so all over the place. I mean, there were times where we were 30 miles an hour following normal street speeds, and then all of a sudden we're up over 100 in the valley on surface streets, and then you have this behavior too. So really indicative of a DUI driver, an alleged DUI driver.
This guy, though, obviously a DUI suspect posing a big danger to the public. This is not just someone who's only driving fast, but also possibly under intoxication. And this is where we're talking about when this pursuit comes to an end, through that intersection, and boom, right there into that wall. Does not make a turn left or right and crashes right into the wall. And the CHP wasting no time running to that vehicle, as Desmond is saying. They do not mess around. They go right to that car. No body shields, anything. This person could have been armed for all we know.
Yeah. And look at this, Susie. The CHP officers, like there's that street sign right there. They are just muscling their way into the area there. They want to be able to see, look, they're using their legs, using just their brute strength, trying to get to the driver, not only because he's in danger, but he also may be in medical, some sort of medical aid, right?
Sure, it's true. Well, this is So I tried this website called Hint. It shows you what you're sewing.
Boulevard, southbound 405, vehicle driving at a higher rate of speed. We do not know if there's anybody else inside this car, but we're about to get our first glimpse through the front windshield to see if we can get a better description of the suspect, who has one hand on the steering wheel, another hand on the right console there, and he is really starting to wobble a little bit. We understand this is possibly a Ford Fusion, but the rear of that vehicle is starting to bounce around a little bit and is acting a little bit wobbly. Not clear whether he has been in any kind of a collision, but he's just seems to be fighting that steering wheel as he crosses into the HOV lane. Coming up on Valley Vista, southbound side of the 405 freeway. CHP on his tail. Looks like he's going to commit to the Sepulveda Pass here as he gets over to the right. No, he's getting off. Getting off at Valley Vista Boulevard off the 405 freeway. Into the bushes! Into the bushes of private property at the end of the exit ramp there, and he collides with that vehicle, a parked car in the driveway there. CHP with their gun Guns drawn, aimed squarely at the driver's side of that Ford Focus. You can see them. They're going to drag that suspect out here. The doors are jammed. He went full speed through the bushes into a parked car, into a house. You can see that parked car is a residential property. You can see that red vehicle now wedged in the bushes at the end of the Valley Vista exit ramp off of the southbound side of the 405 freeway. They're looking in the back seat here. We'll see if there's anybody back there. It looks like the back seat appears empty, and now they are going to try and drag the suspect at the passenger side. Suspect now being dragged out of the vehicle, putting up a fight. Let's go ahead and get on the other side of these bushes. We'll see if we can get this tackle here. They're going to tackle him to the ground as he puts up a little bit of resistance, and it does look like they have the suspect pinned down on the side of the street there. And what a wild end to this DUI pursuit. He just took that exit ramp full speed and rammed right into those bushes.
That's it.
There you see it. A high-speed chase spanning the San Fernando Valley ended in a crash tonight. CHP officers started chasing a suspected drunk driver at 118 in Chatsworth. That driver went through surface streets and eventually traveled at triple-digit speeds on the 101 freeway. The pursuit ended just off the 405 near Encino when the driver lost control and crashed into the concrete wall of a home. Officers then took that driver into custody.
Now be sure to join us again for more police videos. I will upload 2 videos, so when I will be uploading, this will be that pursuit suspect lead police on freeways and on surface streets, and hit and run suspect reach speeds at 70 miles an hour on the freeway when they try to do a pit maneuver to bring this SUV to an end. So when and after the following week, I will be uploading next week I will be uploading 1 video. The other week I'm uploading the second video. 2 police chase videos. So I'm Albert Baldwin. Have a great weekend. See you then next week on Friday. See you next Friday. Bye.